What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Steve's Random Stuff. Hey, I am back out in the garage today getting my gear ready for this upcoming club tournament. And I'm going to call this segment What's Tied On. Going forward, I think it's kind of fitting as what I got tied on all my rods. I actually have 14 rods out tonight. But before I get into that, I just want to kind of do a little follow-up from last week. I was out at Lake Sonoma on Sunday. If you saw the previous video, I only caught 3 fish all day. It was a pretty tough bite, but once I got off the water, I did talk to some other friends up in the parking lot. One guy had 3 keepers all day. He actually caught like 9 fish throughout the day. But basically those 9 fish were all in one little spot. Kind of got on a school of them, but only 3 keepers out of those 9. So pretty small fish. A couple other guys that were fishing together, they had a really tough day as well. I think the weather had a lot to do with it. That front that came in Friday night through the weekend really kind of shut those fish down. Those guys, I don't think they had 5 fish between the 2 of them, so it was a pretty tough bite. One thing that they did said that was working was a tube bait, and they said they were hitting that bait on the fall as it was spiraling down. So that's one thing I got tied on tonight. And also, in addition, on Saturday, I had mentioned in the previous video that the Sonoma County Belly Boat Bass Club had a tournament up there on Saturday. I did look at their website. They hadn't posted the tournament results, but I did look at their standings, and then they had their standings updated. And it looked like they had about 13 anglers fishing. And from what I heard, there was only 2 limits out of the 13. And the winning weight, I kind of mixed reports on the winning weight, but one person told me it was around 8 pounds, and then somebody told me it was between 6 and 7. So again, small fish. That kind of tells you kind of how the bite was going last weekend. Another thing is I looked at Western Bass the other day, and I did happen to catch one of the posts that I had from last year at the same time. And that post, I had stated on there that I had caught about 20 fish, mostly cranking, medium crankbait. So, you know, you never know what that bite's going to be. It could shut down with the weather, and this week's weather has been fairly stable. It's been cold, down into the 30s, but that crankbait bite could kick up anytime. I don't see any weather coming in the next couple of days before Saturday, so you never know. So you got to be prepared for everything. So anyways, let's get into it. I'll kind of start with some of the reaction baits and then kind of work through to the bottom bouncers and the finesse baits. As I mentioned, the first I got is a crankbait. This is a DT10, tried and true. This will actually get down on this 12-pound line about 11 feet that I've seen with the live scope. So shad color bait, DT10, starting off with that. Next up, I kind of debated about this one, and that is the Mr. B bladed jig, shad color with a white Senko on there. I kind of debated about whether or not I wanted to throw a bladed jig or a spinner bait. I've been throwing a spinner bait lately and haven't been having much success with that, so I thought I'd try something different and try the bladed jig. Again, shad color on that. And then next up is this Mr. B underspin. I have the Divine Swimbait on here. It's about a 3.8. This is I did catch a fish on this last weekend, so got to stick with that, and maybe I have some more luck on it this week. And the next reaction bait is a jerkbait, and this is actually one of the new Berkeley Stunner 112 shad color. These are supposedly our slow sinking baits, so something I can get there now. Last week when I was throwing this at Lake Sonoma, I did notice that this was getting down 6 to 8 feet depending on the cast, and what I had to do is kind of cast it way out, make a long cast, and then crank it down 4 or 5 cranks to get it deep, and then it would stay down deep. So something to imitate the bait fish, the Berkeley Stunner jerkbait. And then kind of moving on to some of the bottom bouncers. Mr. B Jig. This is the half ounce in a sprayed grass color with a sprayed grass beaver on there. Next up in line, this is just something different. This is the Tokyo rig I've been throwing. This is just a beaver style bait. I did get bit on this on last weekend as well in the trees, but the fish came off on that. So something different. Next up is the Senko, and just a Senko Rig Senko, something I can get down to the bottom, bounce on there. Like I said, it's been a tough bite, so I'm kind of sticking with some confidence baits, and these are baits that I have confidence with. In the cold water, this Senko Rig Senko will get down there, and this is the cinnamon brown color with black flake. This will get down to the bottom, and I can bounce that and work it slowly and hopefully get some of those fish to bite. Next up, tried and true. Don't leave the phone without it. Texas rig with the Yamamoto Sanshuo. While I got them, and again, confidence bait. I know I can catch fish on this pretty much anywhere, and so I got to stick with that. Next up, as I mentioned, my friend said they were catching some fish on tubes, so straight up kind of a laminate, green pumpkin, watermelon, black flake tube bait. Something I can work slowly. And hopefully those fish will get that on the fall. The tubes are generally when they fall, they'll kind of spiral down. So see how that goes. Now next up, I got my spinning rods, and this is the shaky head, tried and true, with the Biospawn Exo stick and a sprayed grass color. Again, tried and true bait, something I got confidence in. I haven't been throwing this lately much, but I've caught a ton of fish on these Exo sticks, and I really like using them. Nice bulky bait. Next up is just a plain old Ned rig, small bait, green pumpkin color. Nothing fancy there. Last couple rods here, drop shot. This is the Monster Hitch color. If you haven't seen this, it's a really good color. It's kind of odd because it's kind of a yellow gold color, but again, catches a lot of fish. And that's a 6-inch robo worm in the Monster Hitch color. Special color to Outdoor Pro if you're not familiar with that. And last but not least, something a little different. Just a little small Kitech. This is on an 1/8 ounce little guppy head. Something small. I can drop this on the bottom, shake it. I can work it like a Demiki rig. This will actually sit fairly horizontal with the line tie. As you can see, the line ties are on the top. That'll keep that bait fairly horizontal with that small, and it'll just kind of bounce and down, dance around there in the water column, depending on where those fish are sitting. So kind of like a Ned rig, but just something a little different on that. So that's what I got rigged up. That's what I got tied on for Saturday's tournament. Blast off at the main ramp there at about 6:30, I think, time we got some safe light. They did clean the ramp this week, so hopefully we can get 2 vehicles launching at once instead of 1 lane. And then I guess the one thing I didn't mention here is the Wildcard, and that is the Bachelor Bait sleigh rig with some 4.3 Kitechs. Again, if there's a reaction bait going on, I can chuck this around and hopefully get something going on the old sleigh rig. So that's the 14th rod in the boat, kind of the wild card, I would say. So I think I got my bases covered from surface down to deep I need to go, really. So anyways, that's it for tournament prep. The boat's all ready to go. Not much to do there. just get these rods put back in the rod locker and button up. And we'll see you all on Saturday morning. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe as always, and we'll see you at the lake. Take care.